Today we are making a traditional Irish pudding from 1786. And you guessed it, this has potatoes in it. I am so excited to share this episode with you. Our Irish heritage is so important to the formation of the Atlantic provinces. If you go to Halifax, there is a huge Celtic cross acknowledging the settlers. Irish immigration into the Maritimes began in 1746 or thereabouts. It's the first record that I could find of it. And then we have other influxes after the Napoleonic Wars from 1803 to 1815. And then we have the potato famine of 1845 to, let me check my notes, 1852. That led to a lot of Irish immigrants coming to Canada in search of a better life and food security and the ability to provide for their family. This recipe was actually shared the very first year the Irish settlers created this charitable Irish society, which was intended to help Irish immigrants as they came into Canada and help them with food and lodging and just to get settled. And it was really the first organization in Canada of that kind. So it's kind of really special, I think. I'm so excited to try this recipe. Let's get at it. 1 pound of potatoes, peeled and chopped. And we're gonna put these in to boil. I have the water already started to heat up. And we're gonna cook these for 10 to 20 minutes. These won't take as long because they're chopped up, which is why I chopped them to create more surface area so they cook faster. Careful putting them in. And we're gonna let these boil for 10 to 20 minutes until the potatoes are all soft so that we can mash them nicely and there will be no lumps. Catch you in a moment. It's been just a little over 10 minutes and I have strained my cooked potatoes. You can tell they're cooked when you can easily stick your fork through. See how nicely that breaks apart? They're gonna be easy to mash now. In the 1700s, to mash your potatoes, and really into the 1800s and probably early 1900s, you would have used a potato masher. And this is actually my great-great-grandmother's potato masher. We're not gonna use it today because it's too precious, and I'll be honest, I don't know if there's any lead in the paint. I suspect there probably is, but you would have mashed your potatoes using this. So today we are just gonna use a modern version. And I've got the end of a meat tenderizer that I'm going to use to make sure I get all of the lumps out because we want this extremely smooth. This recipe also calls for 3/4 of a pound of butter. So what I think I'm going to do is add the butter right now, and then that's going to help soften the butter up as we mash our potatoes. And I'm going to begin mashing with my potato masher. Of course, my butter is still pretty hard. Oh boy. I did let it sit out, but it didn't get super soft. As you can see, I have the majority of the really big lumps out, and now I'm gonna move to the top of my meat tenderizer, which, you know, is kind of similar to what they would have used, so that's what we're gonna go with. Let's move to our mixing bowl at this point. I'm just kind of pressing down and rubbing against the bottom as I go. Originally, this would have been made with lumper potatoes. That's the potato that was around at the time, and it was a very starchy potato, so I have used russet potatoes as that is our modern day, fairly equivalent potato. You can kind of see as I incorporate that butter that the texture kind of changes in the potatoes. Okay, as you can see, I have the majority of the lumps out. And now I am actually just gonna dump all of the rest of the ingredients in. 9 eggs, 5 of them whole, and 4 of them just the egg white. I'm gonna save my egg yolks and use them for something else later. 1 cup of sugar, a cup of sweet wine. This is listed as a medium sweet wine, and I wanted to make sure I had white because I don't think this will look very good if we use red wine. So We're gonna go with this bodacious smooth white wine and hope that our dessert is bodaciously delicious. So it calls for a cup of it. I'm just gonna assume that it's an actual real cup. A little rose water, so we're just gonna put a splash in. Not a lot of flavor in this, so an extra splash will be just fine. And we're gonna mix this up right now. Let's use our wooden spoon. So sweetmeats are actually just nuts. I don't know why they called them sweetmeats. Probably do that research later, but it was nuts. And so there's no real measurement in the recipe. I am just going to use what I have, and I have walnuts. So I'm just gonna take my rolling pin and smash them up. I'm gonna smash our nuts up in the bag. This is the quickest way I can think of to do this. Okay, I think that looks good. So I'm just gonna dump them in now. And we're gonna give this a stir, and that's all that's in this recipe. It's crazy to me that this is gonna taste good. I think with all the eggs, I expect it to taste like a custard. We'll see. Would have probably cooked this in a pudding mold. I don't happen to have one of those, so I'm just gonna cook it in this. I'm hoping it sets up enough that we can put it on a plate, but maybe if it doesn't, we'll just use the bowl. Okay, I was gonna cook this in this container, and then I get thinking, if I want it to release, there's no release agent in this bowl because I've cooked in it. Or yeah, I've mixed this up in it. So let's set this aside. And what we're gonna do is grease another pan, and I'm just using the wrapper from the butter, and I'm gonna give it a good grease all the way around. Make sure that it's nice and shiny looking, so I know that the butter is everywhere. And that will help release the pudding when we're done. Oh, it's just gonna fit. Why does it look good? Okay, now that I've caught myself before we made a terrible mistake, I am gonna go cook this at 350 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes, or until a knife inserted into the center comes out clean. Our Irish pudding is out of the oven. I am so excited to try it. It is cool to the touch. When it came out, it was very puffed up, much like a souffle would be. It has fallen as it cooled, which is normal. So I think everything looks good at this point. I have run a knife around the outside edge to kind of break it a little bit. And now I'm going to turn a plate upside down. And my hope is that this will come out in the shape it is currently in, but I don't know, it might fall apart. Or it might not come out at all. All right, so to try to loosen this and break the seal, I'm going to gently insert a knife. And again, I have no idea if it's even supposed to come out in form. Maybe it's not. Oh, there we go. Oh, it did. Oh, it's a little buttery looking. But it came out in form. I'm so excited about that. All right. As you can see, the butter has separated out a lot, and maybe I could have mixed the egg butter mixture in better. I'm not sure. Let's cut this and see what it looks like on the inside. Here we go. Irish potato pudding. And I'm going to tell you, I am so happy I did not use a red toned wine. As you can see, it's got a reddish tone already. I assume that is from the nuts that I put into it. It looks slightly light and fluffy, but it's also very buttery. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. So let's take a try of Irish pudding from 1786. Oh, it's good. It's really good. It doesn't take a long time to chew. It tastes light and fluffy and airy in the mouth. I'm gonna have another bite. I really enjoyed the ones where I get the bites of the nuts with it. I am really enjoying this. It does not have a strong flavor, but it does not taste like potato in any way at all. I think left to chill in the fridge overnight will do this wonders. It'll be a lovely cold pudding, but there's no potato taste. None at all. Some improvements I would make. A little lemon zest added before you bake it would round out the flavor nice and add a little bit of depth and complexity to it. I would definitely use more nuts. I really like the nuts in this. I'm disappointed that they floated, but I assume that's going to be standard. It was so watery. And from what I read, that's normal that they would be watery. My other comment is nutmeg was very popular at this time. And if you had money, you would have had a piece of nutmeg and you would have used that to season your foods. And I think a little sprinkle of nutmeg on top of this would be just the cat's meow. It would be absolutely delicious. Irish pudding, 1786. I had a hard time deciding what recipe to make from the early modern maritime recipe collection compiled by the University of New Brunswick. And I am happy that I chose this one because it is steeped in history. It is definitely ingredients that we can get today. And you know what? You can make this for your family really cheap and affordably. If you have chickens, even cheaper still. This is a really interesting and simple dish to make. And if you're looking for a taste of history and a taste of our food heritage, I recommend this recipe. It's amazing what potatoes can do. Thank you for watching today. I really appreciate you being here and following this journey I'm on. If you have any recipes from the 1800s, 1700s, even the 1900s, send them to me here. I look forward to receiving them, and I just might pick your recipe to make. Thank you so much. Bye.